Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Caleb here. Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
Rob is on the sidelines tonight, so he won't be with us. So you got me and Caleb. We're coming at you from the beautiful podcast palace in Norman, Oklahoma, where we're not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. But before we get into talking a little bit of Iowa State and the first college football playoff rankings, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast on whatever you're listening on. Also, if you don't mind, on social media, sharing it. Let people know that you're listening to it. And if you're listening to us on Apple, on your iPad or iPhone, make sure and give us a rating and make a comment. That moves us up everybody's playlist. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you will see us every Thursday. Usually it drops out on Friday morning, Thursday night at Louis on Campus Corner. Let's see, come by the tailgate like a champion this weekend. We will be on the corner, Jenkins and Brooks, probably up and running around 2 o'clock, 1 to 2, and up until game time. Also, our buddy Dan Donnelly from Tailgate Connect. He's a California Sooner fan. Tailgate Connect is your spot to find the best tailgates in the country. If you're not going to a Sooner game or you're out of town or wherever you're at, Tailgate Connect can connect you with the best tailgates across the country. Make sure and check him out at www.tailgateconnect.com. Also, we got Team Bar Finder. Dave Lamb, a California Sooner fan and a Sooner alum, has the Team Bar Finder app that you can download on the Apple Store or from Google Play, or just simply go to www.teambarfinder.com. What is Team Bar Finder? If you're a Sooner fan, you don't live in Norman, you don't go to the games, you're out of state, you can get the app, check out and find where the nearest Sooner watch party is to catch the game with other Sooner fans. You can also start your own. Find a bar, pub, whatever in your community. Make sure it's okay with the bar to set up a watch party that they're willing to do. And then go to Team Bar Finder app and add your favorite bar watch party to it. Simple as that, www.teambarfinder.com. And also, we want to remind everybody to join the Trench Warfare Report. Our buddy Jason Young, who still does stuff. We had some questions. He still does stuff with the Brainiacs, but he has started his own website. It's trenchwarfarereport.com. You'll get all of JY's great commentary on the game and what the Sooners are doing in the trenches, what they do well, what they didn't do well, broken down in proper plain English for you to understand. It's a great website. Again, check it out at www.trenchwarfarereport.com. There we go. All that stuff's out of the way. Yep. I hope they're all happy. That takes a lot out of me, Caleb. So, got a lot to talk about, I think, tonight. We want to talk about the Iowa State Cyclones, the dropping of the first college football rankings, or anything else that's out there and available to talk about. Caleb, anything you want to talk about before that? Anything
I can really think of right now. Maybe what comes up maybe later on, but right now it's just what happened in the last few days, so let's get right into it, and then if something comes up,
one thing real quickly, did you see, I know you're not on Facebook very much anymore, but did you see my post?
No.
You know what we're doing? Do you know what we're doing on my birthday?
No.
You want to know?
Sure.
The Diamond Ballroom live.
Oh, the Iron Maiden.
The Iron Maidens.
The lady band.
Yeah, the all-female Iron Maiden tribute band.
You got Mom okay with that too?
She's okay with it. She wants to go see Elton John, which that's cool.
I want to see Elton John too. I was wanting to tell her about that, so I better be going to that too.
But
that's going there. He's gonna be at Chesapeake, July 5th. I mean,
February 22nd is my birthday, and the Iron Maidens are going to be in town, and we're going to be at the Diamond Ballroom watching them. Okay. Simple as that. If y'all want to come out and join us, it's a great band. I've heard them before. I haven't seen them live. Seen them on YouTube. You can check them out on YouTube. The Iron Maidens. Like I said, it's a female tribute band to my favorite metal band, Iron Maiden. So,
How much is Elton John's tickets?
I don't know. Probably your left gonad.
Yeah, they're not that bad, probably.
Bull.
Well, it just came out, so
Yeah.
Now we're telling a lot of people they're out now, so they can get them out too.
Yeah. But anyway, that's where we're going to be on my birthday, and it's a Saturday night. It's perfect. It's also
We're going to Mexican place before it too, because it's National Margarita Day.
yeah, National Margarita Day is my birthday.
Yeah, we always get Mexican food before. He's just Tara Morrow's, but I'm sure we'll go somewhere in the city now.
But let's just jump into the rankings. You want to jump into that?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing going on right now.
So we have, as everybody knows, Ohio State at 1, LSU 2, Bama 3, Penn State 4, Clemson 5, Georgia 6, Oregon 7, Utah 8, Oklahoma 9, Florida 10, Auburn 11, and then Baylor. We're going to stop it right there at number 12.
We can throw in the Big 12 teams.
Kansas State is at 16, and Oklahoma State is at 23.
The best thing about that is that the Big 12 teams don't play each other. So we want them to win out, pretty much, besides when we play them. So
correct.
So if they keep winning out besides us, they'll stay ranked, which makes us look a lot better.
Yeah, and I do want to say this before we move forward. Had some discussions with people, Caleb, on Twitter when the OU Texas game was, and on Facebook about we want Texas to be undefeated and better.
Not anymore.
When they play us, up to the point they play us.
Yeah.
Okay. How much better would it have been if LSU would have lost to Texas?
It would have been huge. That's why I was going for Texas that game. It would have been huge because because now that takes out possibly a one-loss SEC team getting in.
Yeah, those who said we don't need Texas to win, to be winning, or to beat LSU to help us out anyway, you were wrong. You lied.
It could not matter at the end of the day. But as of right now, if Texas beat LSU, that's one team out of it, especially how Texas is struggling right now too. So
yeah. Well, I looked at this, Caleb, from 9, and I know everybody said we were 15th. In 2015 or whenever it was that we went. It wasn't like this that year. There are too many one-loss teams and too many undefeated teams ahead of us. I don't think Oklahoma has.
I have a chance. I mean, we just need.
You got to have everything happen.
I think two things. I think if Utah wins out, that's really good. I still think we can still get in over Oregon too. Only problem with that though is that they're going to play a top 10 team if both of those win out, which they probably are in the last week. So that can hurt us a little bit. Then again, though, if Baylor only has one loss by then, they could be top 10 too as well. The best thing we probably need LSU to win this week and win handily, and then because Bama's strength of schedule is terrible, it's worse than ours. So I mean, that's probably what we need the most is that, and then I mean, hopefully maybe Penn State loses to Minnesota, or something like that. I mean, we need some help. But even if say LSU wins out, we win out, Oregon wins out, it's gonna be between us, Bama, and Oregon. I think we have a decent shot right there. But it's just I think a bigger threat's Alabama than it is Oregon. I think Bama's the one that would be the one.
I think we can agree that probably Ohio State's going to win out.
Yeah.
Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State, and Michigan.
Ohio State can beat Penn State and lose to Michigan the last game of the year because they have to go to the big house. Michigan has looked different the last couple of weeks.
LSU, I think, has to win this weekend, but they've got Bama, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and A&M left.
So this is the last time they can lose.
Yeah.
I mean, Bama still has Auburn, so they can lose this one and lose Auburn at the end of the year.
Bama has LSU, Mississippi State, Western Carolina, and Auburn.
Yeah.
Penn State has at Minnesota, Indiana, Ohio State, and Rutgers. Clemson, they're not losing. NC State, Wake Forest, and South Carolina.
Wake Forest is only a shot, but that's not going to happen.
Oregon's
not going to lose. Oregon's schedule's just as weak as that one.
Georgia's got Mizzou at Auburn, then A&M, and then Georgia Tech.
They could lose to Auburn, and then I mean, it's not there's so much that can happen.
Yeah. Oregon has Arizona State, and Oregon State. Utah has UCLA, Arizona, and Colorado, and then of course Oklahoma has Iowa State, Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So what we need to happen is Kansas State beat Texas, beat West Virginia, beat Texas Tech, and then beat Iowa State.
It's all possible. I think if they beat Texas this week, I think they'll win out.
Yeah. Baylor needs to beat TCU, Texas, and Kansas.
Possible again.
And Oklahoma State needs to beat Kansas and West Virginia.
Which that's probably most possible of the three of them.
So Oklahoma could end up playing one top 10 team and three top 25, 15 teams by the time we get to them. That'll help. But, man, that means, I think we can jump Utah, maybe Oregon.
So then Oregon, I think we'll jump Oregon. If we beat Baylor, I think we'll jump both those teams. But the thing with Oregon, though, and Utah, if they go undefeated the rest of the way, so that's going to be like a top 6, first 7 the last week of the right before the committee does the last rankings. But then again, like people are saying, though, OU's logo is bigger than Oregon's.
Yeah,
so that helps us there. But, I mean, the difference between us and Oregon, since they lost to Auburn, has been killing teams. No one's even stood a chance against them since they their biggest test they had, I guess, was last week at USC, and they just demolished them. I think they had one again. They struggled a little bit, but they still won pretty handily. But I think our logo could help us. Like I said at the beginning of the year, when you asked me if we had a loss, could we get in? I said Jalen Hurts versus Tua could help that. But
I agree. I mean, I think
I'm more worried about the one loss. Whoever loses this Bama LSU game getting over. I'm more worried about that.
I think there is so much. I mean, if Georgia wins out.
If Georgia wins out and it's 3 teams with 1 loss in the SEC, that throws everything off. I mean, that's.
I mean, there's so many teams I think have to stumble. Here's what killed Oklahoma. I think here's what killed our chances. Having a bye week this past weekend. Had we got to play Iowa State, and we'll talk about that game, or whoever this weekend, and redeemed our loss,
most people
in convincing fashion. It may have helped us, but the fact that we're dead in the water the week that it comes out, I would feel a lot. I was hoping that we would be.
I thought we'd be maybe ahead of Utah. I thought we'd be at 8 or 9.
So I thought we'd be at 7 or 8.
I thought we'd be behind Oregon. I thought we'd be maybe ahead of Utah. But I didn't watch the show, but I heard even people on like Herb Streak and everyone else was kind of shocked how low we were. I guess from what I understand. Did you watch it? Oh, okay, well,
no.
I probably understand people kind of shocked, and a lot of people thought that. I guess because we didn't play, that's probably why, though. But I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's happened before with us, especially because we've always have 1 loss. So it's just this year. This is the first year that everyone ahead of us plays each other, which can help us, but also can hurt too, because that means they have a good loss on the resume. And people are mad about Georgia being above us. I think the reason that is because they have a worse loss than us, hands down.
Yeah.
But they beat a top 10 team, Florida, the week before. So that's why that happened, I think. Because our best wins Texas, and they're not even ranked. So I mean, when it comes to a quality win so far, we don't have a quality win yet.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the reason why we're number 9, because we have a decent loss, but we don't have a win to counteract that loss like everyone else does.
Yeah, but see, everywhere I look on this, and I see, Penn State could lose 2 games. Okay, but then
Ohio State could lose 2 games.
That moves basically Clemson and everybody up a spot. What we have to have happen is something from Clemson down to happen. I think to jump anybody.
Do you think Clemson loses? Think they're out? Think they're done? If Clemson loses, or
I mean, Clemson, their strength of schedule is terrible.
Yeah, their best one's A&M. I mean, Wake Forest is ranked, but I mean, if they lose Wake Forest, if we lost, no one thought we were going to lose Kansas State. So there was no saying that Clemson could lose, slip up. I mean, I don't know who else.
I mean, Georgia could lose to Auburn.
Yeah, that's possible. And then Auburn could beat.
Arizona State could beat Oregon.
That's
Arizona
the only chance.
State.
So that's the only chance because Herman, but that's out.
But then they've got to play in the championship game
against Utah.
So
this will be a top 10 matchup right there.
Right. I don't see who. I mean, I watched Utah play Washington. They're pretty good. Their defense is good. Their offense really good.
They have a really good defense. Their offense. I mean, I don't think they're that good. I think they're decent. I mean, they got. But I mean, they're in the Pac-12. They're beating teams. They're doing their job. Like I said, the first one, like, I don't really care that much about because if you look at the stats, like, most teams that are in the first ranking don't make the playoffs. Like, the number 3's never made it. So,
Yeah.
like, in history, that means Bama won't make it this year. Which, if Bama's make it, it'll be the first time it's ever happened. And, like, but, I mean, it will be interesting if it is a one-loss OU versus a one-loss Bama, who they let in. Because the year that Bama went in over Ohio State had 2 losses to Bama's 1 loss.
But see, here's the other thing that I fear. A one-loss Bama, like you said, look at the pedigree of both teams. Look at how well they travel. Oklahoma can't move up. Let's put them in the Sugar Bowl. And you get the matchup everybody wants.
What? Oh, but
To a Hurts.
But I'm saying that they have to have one of them will get in the playoffs, the other one won't.
Right,
Well,
what I'm saying
it
is
would be kind of funny though if Tua did get his revenge a little bit by coming to OU and knocking them out of the playoff hunt, but still, like, I'm more worried about that. If everyone wins out, like how it's supposed to go, like say Bama loses to LSU, and Oregon wins out, we win out, Clemson wins out, Ohio State wins out. I'm more worried about they'll put Bama in above us. Like, that would be crazy, like, because the year that Bama didn't go in, went in with a 1 loss, was because Ohio State had 2 losses.
Yeah, and their strength of schedule is worse.
It's worse than ours.
Yeah, it's worse than everybody's almost.
But
They've got, if they lose to LSU, that's a quality loss, but they don't have a quality win.
And then if Georgia beats Auburn, I mean Auburn won't be like 16. It's like their best one will be against 16 Auburn, and our best one will be against like a top 10 Baylor, maybe twice a top 10 Baylor. Because
yeah, I think it's going to be us. It better be us and Baylor.
I mean, if it's Baylor again. And they'll probably be in top 10 again because the Baylor wins out the rest of the year after we beat them. Then they'll probably be in top 10 when we play them again in the Big 12 championship.
Right.
Now, what could mess us all up is Texas, because Texas controls their own destiny. They can beat Baylor, they can beat Iowa State, and they can beat Kansas State. And if Texas wins out, they're in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
Which that would be a big fu Texas could do to us, pretty much, by doing that.
Yeah.
So now I'm like the biggest Texas hater in the world right now.
Yeah, Texas doesn't do anything but hurt us from this point out, so they just need to lose.
Yep. Plus, it'll be funny, like all the expectations of Ellen Graham saying we're back, and they go 5-7.
And all the quote insiders down at Texas are talking about, they're like internally combusting right now. Yeah. There are recruits that are, there's been some loss of recruits. Apparently again, which Texas, I don't know, maybe we just haven't had it that bad, but my understanding is that, former players have been calling recruits, telling them to back out. I mean,
crazy. I mean, we're at the opposite. Like, we have former players calling recruits telling them to come here.
Begging them to come here.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, Texas too is just like, maybe they're just mad with, like, because the reason they were so bad is like their whole defense is hurt this year. And like, maybe the old players don't trust their coaching staff, don't trust their medical team. So, I mean, because, that's, like, the whole secondary is hurt. Can you imagine if our secondary was out, like, all of them? Pretty much all year long. Like, I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, it's like pretty much everyone. You know how we lost Motley against Kansas State?
Yeah.
We struggled. Imagine if we lost Motley and two other corners and a safety. That's what Texas has been dealing with. I mean, and I think that could be like, don't trust the coaches, don't trust medical staff, go somewhere else.
Which reminds me, I forgot, just to sidetrack a little bit. When we had JY on the other night, I asked him about, there was a play that Teddy Lehman talked about on his show and on the radio, and Teddy said he had never seen this play ran before, and he didn't say what it was, so I couldn't hardly wait until last night. And I asked JY if he saw it, and he said, I'm pretty sure, I think I know what he's talking about, and if it is, it's basically, you're taught in football the offensive line doesn't lie. Okay, where it's moving, there's some interest, but if you key and you that's what's going on, is the offensive line. He goes, I think the play Teddy's talking about is the offensive line lied.
Well, that's why everyone's saying, like, Kenneth Murray, like, he had no chance that game.
Yeah, and
the whole game was like that.
They basically faked one of the things they did in this play was they faked a pulling guard. The pulling guard went one way and stopped, and then came back and then pushed the rest of the way down. But anyway, JY was right. We talked to Teddy last night, and Teddy went into it in detail with me and Rob, which was really cool. But he said, and one of the things Teddy said was that it was it fit. He goes, I don't know if they designed it for Oklahoma, but it would appear that they did because it was demolished our defense because of how they attacked.
Did they have a bye before us or something? Like, how they put this whole new offense in just for us? Like, that's crazy. I mean, that's also the reason why that guy won like 5 national championships at his old school. I mean, that's why that guy was a pretty big hire they got there. But that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I wanted to let everybody know, yes, JY was correct. It was the same play that JY was talking about, that the offensive line basically fake blocked is the best way I could put it. And JY might break it down on the trench warfare report. I'll have to check. But basically what happened was a guard pulled and then stopped, waited, and came back. And, Teddy said it sucked everybody the wrong way, up into the wrong gaps, and just gashed us with it.
I am very interested to see how the defense responds this week. Because, I mean, it's the first time they've been popped in the mouth all year. And
they got popped hard.
Yeah. So, they kind of responded a little bit in the fourth quarter because we got stops, but again, they knew they were going to run, but then again, all game we couldn't stop their run. So, I mean, they woke up in the fourth quarter a little bit, but...
This is what I like about Grinch. He if you heard his press conference or him, he rattled around about being in the right place, being at the this and that and this and that and this and that, but and being in the right play, being in the right set, and this and that and this and that. And he goes, bottom line, it all comes down to me, and I didn't do my job. I love that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he felt like he kept his guys in a bad situation, or not a good enough situation to win. So he's like, hey, this is on me. I'm supposed to do a better job. I'm supposed to put you in situations for you to be successful, for you to attack. However, he did say, and they're not getting turnovers, and he said, we've kind of, and Lincoln said it last night, we've kind of escaped without getting turnovers because we get so many 3 and outs. But when you don't get turnovers and then you have a game where you don't get 3 and outs, you get beat. And that's what happened.
I mean,
no turnovers. We lost the turnover battle. We've lost every turnover battle this year, I think.
Except for like the first 4 games, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think it's all crazy. Like, Jalen's on the field for 21 minutes. So, I mean, like they did the Army routine perfectly. It also didn't help that we special that third quarter. Like, we had 6 plays that third quarter.
Yeah.
Or one.
Yeah, we had 6 plays.
It's the worst. I mean, everything that could went wrong. That's why I said, I think last week, like, they had a perfect game, and we had a C-D game, and almost won still.
Yeah.
Like, everything went in there. Everything went right for them. And we couldn't really catch a break till the fourth quarter, really. And, like, you kind of felt it early. I even told you, like, this isn't, like, we couldn't put them away early, and they kept hanging around. And then we let teams hang around, especially at home, against the big dog. Eventually, like, they're going to get a lot of confidence, and they're going to, it's just too risky. Like, that's why you put teams away fast.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing all year. But they just had, that game plan they had that whole game, I guess, was just.
You may have heard this stat, but JY shared it with us the other day, and some people have commented on it, and it's true. Not that I didn't believe JY, but did you know in the Lincoln Riley era, that anytime Oklahoma throws the ball more than they rush it, they lose?
I did not know that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The games he's lost, they've thrown it more than they've ran it. But Oklahoma's a passing team. Yeah.
I mean, that's.
And against Kansas State, we ran the ball. We passed through the ball one more time than we ran it.
Kansas State actually makes sense because we're down.
Yeah, you had to. I mean, we didn't have a choice. Yeah. But it's interesting that the teams that get us out of the running game are the teams that beat us.
Which is crazy for how high power for offense we are. Like, we're not really built to play from behind.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because you think with our offense, how quick strike, how much we score points. You would think the number 1 offense in the country means if you get behind, they're not out of it. But it takes us out of our game plan. It takes us what we want to do. We want to run the ball, control tempo.
We want to beat
everything.
You up. That's I mean, it's Lincoln Riley said he learned early on when he came to Oklahoma, I've got to run the ball more, and they want to run it powerfully. You know what I mean? They want a big, strong offensive line that pulls, beats you up, beats you down and opens up the passing game, and it's crazy. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm interested to see. I didn't like how the defense responded this weekend or 2 weekends ago, but I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid, everybody. I haven't put the picture up. I'm a man of my word. You can't go 8 games. Was it 8 games? 7 games? 7-0?
Yeah, because we had bye.
You can't go 7 games and go, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and then go put it up.
Now, the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, if the next 2 weeks.
It's kind of like same old, then yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
I'm behind them. I think it was an anomaly. Just a bad game.
Yeah.
One thing that did interest me, kind of when we get into Iowa State, Lincoln last night at his coach's show. Now I may have misread it, but I kind of said something to Rob. That's why I wish Rob was going to be here tonight. But Lincoln looked down. Usually he's a happy guy, and he's in a good mood at the show. And he did some, he shared some funny stories with the questions that people ask and stuff. But as far as discussing the game and the game plan coming up, or, not a game plan, discussing Iowa State, after the first commercial break, I looked at Rob and was like, does he seem kind of like down? And Rob goes, like depressed? And I was like, I don't know about depressed, but he goes, yeah, he doesn't seem
normal.
Yeah.
Maybe he just knows. Maybe he knows maybe he's more just because it's maybe the best team he's had.
Yeah.
And like he may not get a chance.
Yeah.
That's how I feel pretty much. I think this is the best team we've had since he's been here, really, because they're the most complete team. Because it feels like it, at least.
Yeah.
And then there's a realistic chance we won't get a chance to prove that on the field.
Yeah, because
and also I think it sucks he had it just sour on that loss for an extra week.
Yeah, and two, we've said it before. It's a lot of times it's not, it's when you lose, and yeah, Oklahoma has overcome a 1 loss 2 years in a row, but they lost in the first and second week of November. I mean, in October. Not the last weekend of October, basically.
Yeah.
And which it was the last weekend of October. So they only have 4 games to make it up, to where before they had 6 or 7 games to make it up. You can go on a 6 or 7 game win streak, blow some people out. When we never blew anybody out the last 2 years, we were fighting for our lives in every game. But I'm interested to see how the defense responds. Now, Iowa State scares me. How about you?
Not really, honestly.
Why not?
I mean, there's nothing that they do that really scares me. Really, I mean, what about them scares you? Like
they seem to be able to handle Oklahoma's offense better than anybody else. They're 5-3. Matt Campbell just seems to have a little bit of it on Oklahoma. Iowa State has lost to Iowa 18-17, to Baylor 23-21, and to Oklahoma State 37-24. Now let's go back 2 years ago. 2017, they come into Norman, Oklahoma on October 7th and beat Oklahoma 38-31. And by the way, we were ahead 24-13 at halftime.
Yep.
Okay, they came in and they shut us out in the third quarter. That sounds familiar, don't it?
That's always third quarter. Georgia game, third quarter. Third quarter is always the quarter.
But here's that stat, Caleb. We in that game, Oklahoma had 35 rushing attempts and 34 passing attempts. Oklahoma lost the game, but Oklahoma only put up 513 yards, 323 passing, and 190 rushing. Iowa State put up 449 yards. We owned everything except the turnovers. Turnover, I think, is one of the things that killed us. But their passing attempts, they were like 20 of 27 for 14 yards, basically a pass. Their running game was terrible. They averaged 2.5 yards per rush. But the score was 38-31. Okay, so Oklahoma normally scores in the mid to high 30s or above, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Again, last year, 2018, was basically the same thing. Oklahoma wins the game there, 37-27. Rushing attempts, Oklahoma had 39 rushing attempts and 29 passing attempts. There's that stat. 519 yards. So basically the same offense, about the same amount of time, more rushing than passing. Had 171 yards rushing, 348 yards. Basically, Iowa State did the same as they did a year in 2017. The stats look almost identical. Okay, 87 yards rushing in 18, 81 yards rushing in 17. 360 yards passing in 18, 368 yards passing. That's Iowa State stats. They almost identical.
Yeah.
Back-to-back years. Only difference was they scored. And something I know where I won't be. I will be at the game. I won't be in the podcast palace watching it. I don't watch games in here, as everybody knows, because of that Iowa State game. They just seem to hold Oklahoma down.
I think it means we're due. I mean,
We're due.
I just don't think they're that good. I just don't think they're that good. I mean, honestly, I don't think their offense is that good. I think they have good defense, but I don't like their offense. I think they're missing. They had 2 NFL players on their offense last year. I think it's pretty obvious that they're missing them this year. Montgomery was maybe the best back in the league, and then you had Hicks, who killed us last year. He's the only guy that could do anything, and their offense has struggled this year against everyone. It's just like I just don't think they're that good. I think OU's going to be pissed off. I mean, it's the worst time for Iowa State to come in here. Like 2 weeks straight of just probably getting tortured at practice. Especially like Jalen. I mean, everyone knows what Jalen is pretty much. Like, that guy's probably the most determined guy to prove everyone wrong. And, like, it's just like if Iowa State came in, like, say we played someone last week, then play them this week, maybe. But I think us being on bye week, just stewing in that loss that we probably felt like we still should have won.
Yeah.
With onside kick and everything. Like, I'm sure, and they know now that it's one championship in November. They won for 5 straight Big 12 championships. And 2, they're behind the 8 ball. They have to be impressive for the rest of the way. They have to kill teams, not just win. They have to win. They have to blow teams out.
I like what Lincoln said. He told the team is, remember, yes, we, just because we've done it 2 years in a row doesn't mean it's going to happen 2 years ago. You have to go make it happen. You don't expect, hey, we're fine. You have to get back out there and earn it. You can't just sit here and think, well, we always get in with one loss and we'll get in. No, they're going to have to do something to get in, not just win.
Be the team they were before K-State. Just dominate them like they did everyone else. I mean, if they just went back to that, they're going. I think the spread's like 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
15. I think we'll win by more than that. I think we're gonna be so angry. we know that we have to be impressive. We're behind all those one-loss teams. Like, if we go out there and just beat the crap out of Iowa State. Like, I mean, that's what Oregon's been doing. That's why they're abide. They've just been killing teams in front of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, we know that's what we gotta do. If we squeak by Iowa State, that's not good. That's not good for us at all. Like, it's a win's a win, but we gotta be impressive now. This is like the BCS now again. We have to have points for people. Like, all right, this OU team woke up. That was one weird game at Manhattan. This team's one of the best teams in the country. Because before that Manhattan game, we probably were ranked. If we didn't lose that game to Kansas State, I would guarantee we'll probably been 4th ahead where Penn State's at.
Yeah. We would have been. Penn State was behind us.
Yeah, we would have been 4th if Penn State's at.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we just go out there and just rest of the week and rest of the season and just kill teams like we should, because I think we are that much better than everyone else we're playing. I think it'll be all right. That K-State was just one fluke game, pretty much. I mean, that's what we gotta do. So, I think it all starts this week. And I think Iowa State's coming in at the worst time ever, because this team, with how mean they've been all season, offense and defensively. Like, I won't want to play us. I don't care who it was, Bama, LSU, anyone. Off this bio, I wouldn't want to play this team.
Well, let's look at a little bit of Iowa State stats. Brock Purdy. He's 202 completions out of 295 attempts, 68.5 completion percentage. He's thrown 15 TDs, 7 interceptions, The leading rusher is running back Brees Hall, 6'1", 215 pounds. He's had 81 attempts for 475 yards rushing, averaging 6 yards a carry, 7 TDs. The big thing I think is different is, like you said, their receivers. They don't have those big receivers. Deshaunte White is their leading receiver with 52 catches. He's 5'10". Tariq Milton has had 24 catches for 524 yards, 2 TDs. He's 5'10". Charlie Kolar is their tight end. He's a target. 6'6", 250 pounds, 34 catches for 486 yards and 5 TDs. And Michael Petway, 6'2", 223. He's had 32 catches for 358 yards for 4 TDs. So not quite the receiving core, like you said, Caleb, that they've had in the past 2 years and last year that just ate us up.
Yeah. I mean, I think Montgomery, too, is also like he was like the whole offense went through that guy. So, I mean, like he caught the ball, ran the ball, like he did everything for them. So, it's just they're not the same team. Even in the games they won this year, they haven't really been blowing anyone out. They haven't really been too impressive. Probably been one of the more disappointing teams in the year because they were maybe number 2 behind OU. Like it was between them and Texas pretty much. Like who's gonna be against challenge OU, and they haven't really. The first game of the year they almost lost to Northern Iowa. They probably should have lost Northern Iowa, but it's just.
Yeah, that was what we. I think, where were we at that we saw the end of that game at? I can't remember where we were.
I was at Nathan's house. I think you guys were at the game.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we played Sunday. I'm not sure where you guys are at. I don't know what you're all doing, but I was at Nathan's house. I was mad because I was mad that they were about to lose, and I got mad at Northern Iowa for not going for it in overtime. I'm like, go for it. Like you have nothing to lose. So you're not the better team. Like the better team normally wins in overtime in college football because it's just you're a smaller part of the field. The more talented team's gonna win that. So like it made no sense to me why they didn't go for 2 in the first overtime. So, but that's like I said. I think one. I don't think LSU's that good, and then I think OU is just on a mission now because they have to be, and so I think it's just gonna be. I think it's gonna be a blowout Saturday.
What are you expecting to see? I mean, let's talk about score. What do you think the score is going to be? How well do you think Oklahoma is going to be able to defend it?
I said be like 49-21.
So you're okay with 21 points
at the most. I mean, I think 49-21 is like. I think we maybe score more than that, but I think 49. It's what we normally score is around 49 points, kind of like 49-50 pretty much. So I think 49-21 would be pretty. And I think the 21 might come in the fourth quarter pretty much. Like the 2 touchdowns or.
Well, the one thing
we shut them out all game. And they score real late.
The one thing I don't think you're going to see happen anymore, regardless of what the score is them putting
backups and stuff.
Yeah, 3s and 4s in there. They're gonna because they now have to impress. It's now it's now time to impress. Not that it wasn't before, but I mean there was the last home game. I'm trying to think who was the last home game. Geesh.
Tech.
No, it wasn't Tech, was it?
No,
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, they started putting the backups out there, and West Virginia started moving the ball, and they started moving the 1s and 2s back in there. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, they're going to have to shut people down, and I think that's what they've been working on. They're going to have to get some turnovers. And I know turnovers is a big stat, but let's be realistic. They want 2 to 3 turnovers a game. Whoever does that? I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of turnovers a game. It's a great goal to have, but man,
we haven't had turnover though since.
Yeah, but look at how many three and outs we've had. It's ridiculous the amount of 3 and outs we've had. I mean,
it's just like whenever your coach's goal is to get turnovers, that's one thing we have done all year, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
I'm just glad to see us getting off the dang field. Yeah. Was all I am. It's like thank you, yeah. And then it just like you said. I mean, you and I sitting here watching it. It was like 2017 all over again. It was like, oh my gosh, a dumb penalty.
Nothing we can do really. It's just everything that code went wrong, and like it's just. I don't know. Like it's that game's still and. So it's been kind of annoying just because it's the bye week. So it's been sitting on it.
Yeah, bye weeks are terrible.
So I mean, it's just we should. I fully expect OU to go out there and dominate this weekend because I think they're one that much better than this team. And 2, it's like they're gonna be on mission. So like if it's a close game throughout, I'm gonna be very Very, very upset. If we win, even when we win, I'll get over it, but still, I'm gonna be upset during the moment.
Yep. You know, the bad part is, this is why, again, I don't like this playoff system.
This is why they like it though, because it keeps it.
Keeps
it entertaining throughout the whole.
Here's the thing. This, okay? And I was listening to 2 radio stations on the way home today that were both talking about the same thing. They've got to make a change. They have to expand it because there's 130 teams basically, and you got a room full of people voting and giving their reasonings and data and everything else. But they have taken away the championship aspect of championship football. Okay, because if you're not going to put a Power 5 one-loss conference championship in the playoffs, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
They've got to expand it to at least 8 teams. It would still keep all that would happen with everybody. It would move everybody back to going who's number 7, 8, and 9, or 6, or 6 and 8. Okay, because your Power 5s, 6, 7, and 8, because your Power 5s are there. Win your conference, you get the opportunity to go. You get your playoff berth, but lose it, you still got a chance. You got 3 spots. You got 3 wild card spots.
Yeah.
Not putting conference championships in is ridiculous. And they're not going to leave a one-loss one-loss SEC conference champion out because everybody thinks the SEC is better than everybody else. So what's the difference? You know what I mean? You can't say, well, we're going to put a one-loss SEC team in, and guess what? We're going to put a one-loss SEC that didn't even play in their conference championship team in. That's not even close to fair.
The problem with that too is when they did that once, that team that didn't play in the championship didn't win the whole title. So the team didn't win its conference, but didn't win the title. So I mean, it's just. I mean, the playoffs is obviously better than what we had. It's just, but I mean, they're going to change it because of this right now. They love this conversation. They love that. I mean, for a month straight, like college football, it's all talked about because it changes week to week. It's still week to week. Everything matters. And the money involved is just too much. I mean, it could get more money if they do it that way, but
they would without a doubt get more money.
But it's just but I think they enjoyed this nonstop coverage though for this month, pretty much, because it's every week, probably throughout the whole week, pretty much. The college football is the main talking point with everything, even over the NFL, which is almost impossible to do during the season. But that's why I have it this way because it makes people watch.
Yeah,
and it keeps fan bases angry, keeps them frustrated. I mean, it's just it keeps everyone involved.
Well, and here's another thing. I don't, go back to Rudy's last night. Some people say that we become too critical towards fans. Okay, that we bash fans, and I thought we were. One guy put, "I thought y'all were a fan podcast. All y'all did was bash fans." Look, if we bash fans, we're bashing ourselves too. Okay, but every fan base is weird. Right, Caleb? I mean, nobody's perfect.
Fans is for fanatics.
But if you'd have been at Rudy's last night, and me and Rob have been going to Rudy's 3 years, okay, every Tuesday night for 3 years, and every experience that we've had there, when Oklahoma loses, guess what happens the following week?
It's not as full.
It's not nearly as full.
But people just want to talk about it. I mean, it's just how it is.
Nobody wants to talk about losses.
Even like this other people on radio, they said pretty much it's like when OU loses, like their radio coverage cuts in half, if not more than half.
People don't. Yeah,
people don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just especially in college. Like college is the only sport that's kind of like even in the NFL and basketball and hockey, baseball, there's so many other games. But if you lose in college, it just takes everything out of you because. But
here's the deal, though. I mean. It was probably about half, okay? And I was talking to one of the ladies that works the door for Lincoln. Me and Rob were talking to one of the ladies to get stuff signed by Lincoln, and she said, no other school does this. No other coach does this. Nobody else has a live coaches show where people can come and sit and eat dinner and watch. And it's an hour. It's not a lot. But just the fact that you have this opportunity to see your coach in person. You don't have to get something signed, just to see him in person, watch him. It's really cool watching him work with the media guys that are there and the fans that are there. Anybody who brings a kid up, he is awesome with little kids, teenagers. He's great with them. He's great with all the fans, but it's a shame that when Oklahoma loses a game, the next week nobody shows up. Now, some people said, well, there's a basketball game. And we know a couple of people that go there that went to the basketball game. But did you see the basketball game last night, the crowd?
No, it's first game. I mean, it's understandable. I mean, it's just like...
I agree. I understand it, Caleb, but it's still sad. I mean, because I'll tell you what, we beat Iowa State next week on Tuesday night. You can't get in the place.
I mean, it's kind of like, if we're winning, we're going crazy in the crowds, but if we're losing, the crowd's quiet. I mean, it's just how it is. I mean, if we're losing on Saturday, it's not gonna be as loud as if we're winning on Saturday. It's just how it is. Like, it's just no one wants to see their team lose, especially in college. If you see your team lose in college, it's so demoralizing because it can ruin your whole season. I mean, it's the only sport that one loss can ruin your whole season.
I know, and that's why it needs to change. One loss should not negate a season, and in the college, it's not fair all the way across the board. The conferences aren't equal. You know what I mean? There's a lot of teams in one conference. Oklahoma's in the weird one that play. That's the Big 12 that has 10 teams, and you do a round robin and got to play somebody again. But the SEC is not equal to the Big 12. The Big 12 is not equal to the ACC. There's nothing equal about it. So it's always been, the problem with college football. It's always been flawed. I mean, all the way back before the 70s and 80s when, the AP poll and the coaches poll, that was people voting on it and
teams that played.
Yeah, never even came close to playing each other.
I mean, it's just, I get why people are upset though.
Yeah.
I've been that way pretty much. Like when OU loses, I mean that's how I am. I mean, I haven't watched football since really they lost. I mean, that Saturday I don't really watch any football because you always get reminded, you lost.
All day long. Yeah,
I don't really watch period just because I don't really care about the NFL. And then last Saturday, I just didn't really care to watch any. There's any good games on really, so I was just like, I'm just.
That Utah-Washington game was
all right.
good.
I mean, I watched into that one pretty much, but besides that, though, I was just like, watch movies, getting ready for the UFC fights. Really, I mean, after this week, I'll get the itch again, because it's just crazy how that one loss can just take it out of me. It's like I don't mind people at all being that way because it sucks.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and I'm just like you. I mean, I don't listen to the radio, especially the Monday after a loss, because there are people that make me angry, and it's not the radio hosts. It's usually the ones with the call-in shows and the people. And I've never said I know everything. I've never claimed to know everything, but you always got the yahoos that call in and we should have pulled that and pulled this and pulled them and moved them over and done this and it's just like, I can't listen to that. I just want to be quiet.
We do that one here too.
We do, yeah. But I never said I was right.
But another thing too is you also get like the other fans from other teams just trying to rub it in. So I mean,
oh yeah.
So it's part of being a fan. I mean,
and it's funny you said that you talk about people don't want to listen and don't want to hear our stats. We watch our stats. Our stats have dropped pretty drastically in the last 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we had our game day podcast when we were ticked off about the kick, was really good. But now the last couple have been just like, which I expected, and I went back and looked at last year's stats with Texas. Same thing. It goes, boom, it drops. But then guess what?
When we start winning, it gets back up again.
Yeah, we win this weekend, boom. It's crazy.
Like I said, like if OU loses again, I'm not gonna give two craps about. I'll care about OU, but the rest of college football, I won't give two craps about. Like I'll cheer on OU the rest of the year. I'm gonna be upset, but as I want them to win the rest of the games. But if that happens, Lord forbids they lose again, I'm gonna be upset again. I'm gonna be real mad. But I'm gonna watch OU and support them. Just the rest of college football, I could give two craps about because I wouldn't care at all.
Yeah. So you're calling it 48-21?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 42-14. I think the speed D is going to shut them down.
I said the 21 would be like the fourth quarter, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
it should be like all the other games before K-State.
I'm still worried about it, though.
I don't know.
That's what it should be. But for some reason, I don't know.
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more worried about next week. But then again, next week I think we're going to go out there and beat the crap out of Baylor too. So I think we're so much better than everyone else in this conference, like I was before at the K-State game. I thought that's why I'm probably more upset how we lost that game, because I think we're so much better than everyone else.
Yeah.
It's just that's what happened in college, man. That's why there's always big upsets in college. So it's just we should dominate every team. We should, but all matters. The question is, will we?
And I know it sounds like jealousy. Well, what I don't like is that we've been a dominant team now for 3 years. We have in college football. But now you got teams like Ohio State and LSU jumping up in there. And
Ohio State's been there with us. LSU is the only one that hasn't really been up there with us.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I mean, it's just irritating as a fan watching our program get jumped, okay, when we shouldn't be getting jumped. Yeah. That's just me. I mean, it's like, yeah, but you never know what happens. I mean, for crying out loud, everybody could lose this weekend. Then what happens?
Only one person can win is the LSU Bama game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't much see that game. I mean, because what could help is, like, the team gets blown out. If the team gets blown out, I mean, they should beat Alabama completely.
Yeah. So, that's the thing. That's the thing with the Alabama LSU. If it's 21-17, comes down to, the last drive in a game, both teams, they're only going to move 3 or 4 spots.
I mean, LSU be maybe forced over Clemson if that happens.
Yeah.
They'll probably 5th. I mean, if that happens, they'll put LSU 5th or Bama 5th. I mean, that's just how it is.
Now, if it's a, 42-14 game, whoever's 14 should be gone.
They'll probably still be ahead of us. They'll probably be right. They'll probably right behind Oregon, I would bet. And then after OU wins the week after, that's when we'll.
That's Oklahoma isn't just going to jump up this weekend. If we make jumps, it's going to be the last weekend and right after the.
It'll be next weekend. We'll jump up.
I don't know.
Baylor is 12th. I mean, if we go out there, if we go on the road and beat a good.
Well,
Baylor
that's
team.
that's what I'm saying. We're not going to see a big jump. We're going to move up. But we're not going to know anything, I don't think, until the Big 12 championship game. We're going to be sitting out there going, are we going to make it? So
I can see us. I can see us 5th, maybe 6th in Big 12 championship. I can see us at 6th, and the loser of the Bama LSU game be ahead of us, and pretty much be like, all right, you go prove it. I guess. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we have to go out there and put on a show.
Well, see, and that's what bothers me. If Bama wins it, I see you and I have talked about it, Caleb. I see us more likely to get it because, like you said, it's money. Okay, if Bama wins and Oklahoma, they're gonna figure out a way to get an Oklahoma-Bama matchup if Oklahoma wins out.
Unless the LSU games really was one of the best games of the year.
No, I still think. If LSU wins it. We ain't getting in. They'll put us in the Sugar Bowl against Alabama. You watch what I tell you.
They can't do that because it means they'll leave both OU and Bama out and put Oregon in both of us. That's not going to happen.
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, guess what? OU and Bama being in college football playoff makes more money than Oregon.
No. Oh well, we're just going to have to wait and see. We got anything else, Caleb?
I don't think so.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Boomer, Caleb.
Boomer.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.